Hi, this is Devanshi.
And this is Manu.
And today we are here to talk about one of the most debatable topics, that whether your relationship status impacts your financial stability.
When people talk about money in relationships, the conversation usually becomes very emotional. While some believe being unmarried is financially simpler,
others feel being married automatically increases their expenses. The truth is, people make their own opinions.
Today, we are not here to judge any lifestyle, but to help you understand it practically and financially better, so you can make better choices regardless of your relationship status.
The examples in this video are centered on working professionals living independently, typically on rent in urban India, and this is based on real data.
Multiple urban housing and consumption studies, including NSSO household expenditure surveys and real estate reports by ANORC and JLL, consistently show that a majority of early to mid-career professionals in Indian cities live in rented accommodation.
Rent is also a single largest monthly recurring expense, which makes up to 30 to 40% of your total spending. That's why rent-based living provides the clearest and the most realistic view of monthly cash flow. It allows us to understand how money behaves when expenses are handled alone versus shared.
Whether you live in a tier 1 or a tier 2 city or with family, the structure of expenses remains the same even if the amount changes.
Let's begin by understanding what monthly expenses typically look like for an unmarried individual in India. On an average, a working professional living alone in a metro or a tier 1 city spends anywhere between Rs 30,000 to Rs 55,000 per month, depending on the lifestyle and the location. Rent and utilities usually form the biggest portion of this expense, ranging from Rs 12,000 to Rs 25,000. Food and groceries may take another Rs 6,000 to Rs 10,000, followed by transport, subscriptions, personal spendings, and social outings. Individually, these expenses may seem manageable, but together they may add up very quickly. Advantage of being unmarried is complete financial control. You decide where every rupee goes. There is flexibility, speed in decision making, and the freedom to adjust your lifestyle without negotiation. This flexibility can be powerful if managed well.
Now let's look at how the monthly expenses look in a marriage. When two people share their lives, emotionally and financially, monthly expenses usually fall in the range of 45,000 to 80,000 combined. At first glance, this seems higher, but the structure is very different. Rent and utilities are shared, which often reduces per person cost significantly. For example, a couple paying 30,000 rent together is often spending less than individually two unmarried people paying 18,000 each. Grocery expenses become more efficient and several lifestyle costs overlap naturally. This is why shared living is often financially efficient, not necessarily more expensive. The presence of two people changes how money flows, not just how much money is spent.
However, there are financial challenges too. Living alone means there is no cost sharing. Every fixed expense such as rent, electricity, internet, and appliances is handled by one person. There is also a higher risk of lifestyle inflation. When no one questions spending habit, discretionary expenses like dining out, travel upgrades, or impulsive purchases can quietly increase. Many unmarried individuals earn well but save inconsistently, because spending decisions feel harmless in isolation until they accumulate. This is where maintaining separate bank accounts becomes critical. Even if you're unmarried and managing everything alone, having structured accounts create visibility and discipline. Here's a simple framework. One account for essentials: rent, groceries, utilities, EMIs, and non-negotiable expenses. Second, one account for personal expenses: entertainment, dining out, shopping, hobbies, things you enjoy but cannot control. One account for saving and investments: emergency fund, SIP, long-term goals, money that should never be touched for daily spending. This separation prevents money from disappearing without a trace and ensures you're always saving, not just spending what's left.
That being said, marriage comes with its own financial challenges. There are additional social and emotional expenses that are rarely accounted for upfront. Travel plans, celebrations, gifting, shared responsibilities, family obligations, and sometimes supporting each other during the income transition all plays a role. If money habits are mismatched, one partner may overspend while the other adjusts silently. Over time, this creates stress. Most financial conflict in marriage does not come from lack of money, but from lack of communication and clarity. This is why, even in marriage, maintaining separate bank accounts for personal expenses is essential. It's not about distrust, it's about autonomy and clarity.
If you're unmarried, the most important habit you can build is visibility. You must know exactly where your money is going every month. Set up separate bank accounts. One for essentials, one for personal expenses, and one for saving and investments. This separation creates accountability even when you're living alone. Setting a lifestyle gap. Automatic savings and separating wants from needs creates stability. Unmarried individuals should use their flexibility to build emergency funds, invest consistently, and prevent lifestyle creeps. Being unmarried is not a financial disadvantage when a structure exists.
When you are in a marriage, this is the framework that you should follow. Both of you should have personal accounts. Each partner maintains their own individual bank account for personal expenses. This includes personal hobbies, subscriptions, gym memberships, individual shopping, grooming, wellness, any gifts that you want to give to your friends, family, or each other, or any other discretionary spending that reflects your personal choices. This preserves autonomy and prevents resentment. One should not have to justify buying a book, a coffee, or personal gadget if it's within their means. Number 2, having a joint account. A shared account for all the common expenses, whether it's rent, utilities, groceries, household items, furniture, joint vacations, dining out together, any children-related expenses, or whether it's for joint investments for shared goals, like maybe accumulating for a house down payment or retirement. Both partners will contribute to this account proportionately based on their income or equally depending on what feels fair. Number 3, individual savings and investment accounts. Even within a marriage, each person should have their own emergency fund, at least 6 months of personal expenses, retirement savings, PPF, NPS, mutual funds, personal financial goals, a course you want to take, a trip you want to fund yourself. This ensures financial independence and security no matter what happens in the relationship. What else could be added later? Nominee updates. Once married or in a long-term relationship, update nominees on bank accounts, insurance, and investments, joint loans and liabilities. If taking a home loan or car loan together, ensure both names are on the loan and the asset. Clarity on who pays what percentage prevents future disputes. Insurance coverage. Both partners should have their own term insurance and health insurance. Don't rely solely on family floater or employee coverage. Estate planning and wills, especially after marriage or if significant assets are involved. This protects both the partners and avoids legal complications.
Here is the most important point people miss. The difference between being unmarried and being married is not about money, it's all about structure.
A disciplined, unmarried person with clear financial goals can be more stable than a married couple with poor alignment. Similarly, a financially aware couple with shared planning can outperform many high-earning unmarried individuals in terms of savings and wealth creation.
Instead of asking whether being unmarried, living together, or being married costs less, the real question is this. Is your cash flow aligned with your values and goals? Are you saving consistently? Are you prepared for emergencies? Are your expenses intentional or automatic? Do you have clarity on where every rupee is going? These questions matter far more than your relationship status.
To conclude, being married or unmarried is neither a financial disadvantage or an advantage. What matters is awareness, discipline, and communication. Once you understand your expense patterns, maintain separate accounts for personal clarity, establish shared systems for common expenses, and plan your future intentionally, your financial life becomes much calmer whether you manage it alone or with someone else.
If you want more practical, unbiased financial guidance that helps you make smarter real-life decisions, subscribe to FinCart now and talk to our advisors.